John Calipari leaving Kentucky to go to Arkansas. I'm not going to spend a ton of time on this because we talked about this a couple weeks ago. In the fact that he's going to have to figure something out with the game, the college basketball game, or it's going to surpass him. When they lost to Oakland early in the tournament, round 1 to be exact. And he, bunch of freshmen and all that stuff. So I am a full-on, anyone who knows me knows that I personally believe that John Calipari was a bit overrated. I was always kind of one who was a Roy Williams over Calipari. Obviously, everybody was Coach K over everybody, but Tom Izzo over Calipari. I thought John Calipari and Bill Self were two guys who were overrated. And Bill Self then went and beat North Carolina, won another championship. And, when you win multiple, then you kind of get solidified a little bit. Like I said before, John Calipari he wins a lot. He wins a lot of games. And a lot of his players go pro. And so if you're looking to build a program to get players pro, if you're looking to build a factory to get players to go pro, then John Calipari is the coach you need. If you're looking to win championships, that's something that may happen because you get a lot of talent, but that's not something that is a guarantee, right? That's not the number one goal. And I think that for a school like Kentucky, now that they kind of realize what the steez is, even though he said it before, but they didn't really listen. And he was at Memphis. He was able to get talent. And they were like, yo, come on from Memphis. And the reason why they're doing this is not because they're thinking, okay, well, if we get talent, we can win championships. Well, John Calipari is someone who is selling to these kids, I'll get you to the league. Well, Kentucky, who's got the prestige and history of Adolph Rupp, their arena is Rupp Arena. I don't think that Kentucky's down with that. Okay, because at the end of the day, my school boosters don't fund the things my school wants to do based on how many players we have in the league. My school boosters want to see us win. They want to make sure their money is going to something other than these kids then going to the NBA where that money's not going to show any kind of dividends at all. Would you rather be a school that, UConn, if they win, UConn has a chance to already have more rings than Calipari in 2 years. Villanova has more. Jay Wright has more than Calipari did in the 3-year span. Tony Bennett has already as much. Would you rather be a school that has 5 championships in 20 years or a school that has 20 players in 5 years? Well, if you have no championships, then what good does it do? Because at the end of the day, when you're a Kentucky fan, once those players go, you don't take pride in, well, we had such and such. If the Los Angeles Lakers never win another championship with LeBron, are they going to be happy? Let's say he plays 8 years with the Lakers. Are they going to be happy that they got one championship with LeBron? Maybe. But if they didn't get any, they wouldn't be okay with like, oh well, but he played for us though. No. That's not how it goes. And that's just kind of the same thing with Kentucky. And so I think that this was bound to happen. I mean, we were hearing the whispers. And I think that so we were hearing the whispers, and then basically, the buyout was going to be like $33 million. It was going to be a lot of money. We knew 2 weeks ago he met with the AD to figure out how to turn the program around. And I think at that point was when it was like, hey, John, look, man, something's got to change. If you're not really looking to make something change, then we can go a different direction. We won't fire you. You can go look for another job if you want. Of course, for him, he's going to a school in Arkansas that's not necessarily known as a basketball school. Maybe not even known as a I don't really know what they're known for. But I do know that their standard of winning is not the same. You can't go to a blue blood and not win, right? Because they don't care how much NBA talent you produce. All that does is make you more mad when you realize we have how many NBA players and you did what with that? Arkansas is not on that time. Arkansas is going to be happy to be a top 4 or 5 seed every year. Even in John Calipari's down years with Kentucky, Arkansas is gonna be fine with that, and he has a chance to stay in the SEC and maybe stick it to Kentucky. The question is, right? He was always able to get stars. I cannot remember where he was at. Let me look this up. I want to know where John Calipari was at before Memphis. But he was always able to get stars. The stars was not the problem. He was always able to get at least one. But I don't recall him getting more than one. Oh, he's at UMass. That's right. Before going to the pros. I don't recall him getting more than like one until he got to Kentucky, where he's getting 5. You know what I'm saying? Like, he might have got more than one, but you get my point. Going from, he's got the top recruiting class because he's got numbers 1, 2, 6, 7, and 9 in the recruiting class. That wasn't happening until he came to Kentucky. So I'm curious if players who are good really are willing to come to Arkansas for the sake of going pro, and maybe they are, but that'll be interesting to see if some of the Kentucky blue blood brand helped his recruiting or not. Because I mean, if John Shire didn't just, he's coming out here with these recruiting classes for Duke, he wouldn't just be doing that if he was at Pitt, like Duke's other assistant coach, right? There's a reason why, he's able to he got the Duke job. Pitt's other assistant, who I think they were saying was supposed to be next in line or whatever, he went to Pitt. He's not getting Cooper Flag. Duke has a lot to do with that. Hubert Davis, if he's at wherever, he's not getting, he might not get Elliott Cadeau. North Carolina has a lot to do. That prestige has a lot to do with that. And so I'm curious how this is going to go, because, for Cal, it's kind of the perfect move. Winning is not necessarily, relevancy is more important to some programs than winning, just purely off of the fact that, like, if they're not normally relevant, that helps. And if you're able to get talent, sometimes lightning's going to strike. You catch lightning in a bottle and you go to a Final Four or this, that, and the third, and you're right back there and you can coach. Ain't nobody saying you can't coach, right? So you can always get lucky. What I tell y'all, the magic of the NCAA tournament is the best team doesn't have to win. The most talented team doesn't always win. That's just the great thing about sports in general. But the best team doesn't have to win. So if you're John Calipari, I mean, why not, right? Like, if it didn't go well next year, and who knows, I don't know what their recruiting class looked like, whatever. If it didn't go well next year, he very well could have been out of there. So it's like, let's go ahead and get out ahead. Bill Belichick, cut him a year too early as opposed to a year too late. And that's what he did. So we'll see how it goes. I'm very curious what this means for Kentucky for the next few years. I'm very curious who they go for. Of course, UConn's head coach, best coach on the market right now, because I think Jay Wright's retired. And we'll see.